빠져버리기 전에 do or not 나 언제나 빛이나 flee하게 어서 와 뛰어봐 clean 해줘 날 전부 모두 내게 줄게 내 꿈을 네가 보여줄래 지금 아직 한방 안에 살아 wow 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 내 너에게 좀 더 빠져들게 해줘 이 노래가 더욱 길어질 수 있게 막이 내리기 전에 baby 오늘이 지나기 전에 baby 난 너무 바쁘니까 Let's go
Good evening, and oh, I've got the volume set too low. One moment, please. That might be a bit better. Oh, that's a bit loud. That might be a bit better. That's still too loud. That might be a bit better. Right. Hello. I'm not playing Shenzhen IO or Tis 100 today. I've decided to go back to Crusader Kings 2 because Verity's been playing it a lot, and I haven't thought of a better thing to play. Sorry, there will now be a short and rather complicated dance while I try to arrange to have my IRC client on something that I can actually display at the same time as CK2. But the other laptop is being quite sluggish. Thing. So yes, I did have an ongoing CK2 game that I was partway through, but I can kind of only vaguely remember what was going on there, and I thought it might be interesting to do something new. And unlike Verity, who seems to spend most of her games trying to take over the entire world, I'm more interested in the fiddlier bits. So to be fair,
I thought I was trying to start in the fiddlier bit last time, but
accidentally ended up taking over the world anyway.
Yeah, that's what.
Right, so I'm about to switch over my IRC. Right, and now I can actually find CK2 and make it full screen. That's not quite full screen. What's going on there? Do I have to do something subtly different to make it work properly? Because it's now sitting there going, I'm not quite full screen, and so I'm almost certainly losing the very bottom edge of the window. Yes, I am. Right. I've worked this out before. Well, let's try. No. Oh, well, let's just try quitting it and starting it again. I'm sure that would be safe. Well, somewhat sure. I suppose I could, when I'm asked, do you want to force quit this, say yes. I thought, why, you strange thing. Okay, yes, force quit. Right, let's see how badly wrong this goes. Hello, it's all gone dark.
No, that's dark.
Right, that seems to be working correctly. What? No, don't come back. Come back. Thank you. Right. I've got the sound on. Right, so God knows what that save was. So my kind of idea, and I have of course none of the DLCs because I'm cheap like that. So I had a wander around thinking about what kind of low-level characters I could start off as. And I discovered, if we switch to the realm view, that down here we have the papacy, and under the papacy we have Count Alberic of Orvieto, who is the Pope's only temporal vassal, and who controls these two counties here. And he's slightly interesting because his name is Alberic di Spoleto. But he is not the Duke of Spoleto. Someone else is the Duke of Spoleto. Someone who is not a di Spoleto. But I think his father was the Duke of Spoleto or something like that.
So he's got a claim on the duchy?
So he has a claim on the Duchy of Spoleto. And of course, there's no way he can take... Well, I mean, he can't do the usual thing of a vassal of taking over his liege's title, because his liege is the Pope. And the Pope is not playable.
Well, also, if you try and attack the Pope, we all know what happens when you try and attack the Pope unless you're really, really, really tough.
Yes, I'm not sure what happens if you try to attack the Pope when you're the Pope's vassal.
I don't think it's good.
And also, I looked this guy up on Wikipedia, and apparently, in practice, the Pope was his vassal, in that the Pope was a puppet installed by Alberic of Orvieto. Yes. And like there's some terribly complicated family relationship between him and the current King of Italy. And yes, it all looks kind of interesting. So I thought I would try starting as Count Alberic of Orvieto and seeing where it went. Yes, thank you. We may have to turn the sound off if it gets too annoying. So I'm just going to leave all the settings wherever they currently are. They're probably reasonable. Your Pope may be playable, Pink Beast. Our Pope is not playable. The Pope only becomes playable in 1435 or whatever it is. So, yes, welcome to CK2. I more or less know what's going on in this game. There is no set goal.
Bravely with Chrome.
So, yes, I'm Italian, which is boring. I'm feudal, which is, well, boring. I'm Catholic, which in this game is basically the boring thing. Catholic rulers can set up anti-popes. can Catholic rulers who are vassals of the Pope set up anti-popes? I think the answer is no, because you need a duke level, because anti-popes are duke level and I'm duke level. No, I'm count level at the moment. But
The thing is, you can't set up one.
Doesn't an antipope have to be set down?
so that's not how you scroll, Ben. So yes, here is my rather small territory. My liege is Pope Leo VII, who is also King Bishop of the Papal States and heir to the barony of Tivoli. My wife is Princess Alda of Italy, whose father is King Hugh of Italy, and whose mother is Hilda. Oh yes, but the king's current wife
On this, it's very
is...
disturbing to say.
Okay, let's turn some of the background noises off. Yeah. Message, quit, say, resign, save and quit. Okay, where are the... game options is probably what I want, isn't it? Audio. Ambient weirdness off. Music is already off. Do you also want things going click to be off?
Probably yes, because it's quite piercing.
Okay, I could just have turned master all the way down, I suppose. Anyway, everything is now very quiet. So, where were we? Yes, I was wandering around my family tree, or rather family thicket, because my mother is the Queen of Italy, my wife's father is the King of Italy, but I'm not related to my wife.
Not even by marriage.
Okay, I'm related to my wife by marriage and by marriage, and i.e. by our marriage and the marriage of our respective parents. I have one newborn son, Gregory. I have a brother, Duke Hubert of Tuscany. I have a claim on the Duchy of Spoleto, which is currently de facto quite a large portion of the Kingdom of Italy. Its de jure territory is somewhat smaller and more conveniently positioned. So, right, how do we start this thing then? We have a council. I have an excellent chancellor, who is my brother. A tolerable spy master and a tolerable court chaplain, who is also my steward and a cardinal. He is not much good as a steward, and my marshal is also fairly poor.
You appear to have lots of cardinals as your.
I have the same cardinal twice, don't I? Or are those different
No,
cardinals?
they're different
Oh no, they're different cardinals. They just have the same face. Well, quite right. I have Cardinal Pancrazio as steward and Cardinal Nolfo as chaplain.
Yeah, the Pope is definitely your puppet.
So I have two. Those are my vassal bishops, aren't they? The kingdom, namely the Papal States, does not have free investiture, presumably because it has papal investiture. Of course, since the king is also the Pope, this is not particularly relevant. So the other vassal of the Pope is the Papal Guards. So I'm now wondering how elections of new popes work. Given that Sorry?
Can't smoke, I think.
Yes, but given that I appear to have 2 cardinals reporting to me, am I able to influence papal elections?
I think that's not in CK2, but
Or at least not in vanilla CK2.
yeah. What illustration are you looking at?
I mean, not that I have any immediate plans for the death of the Pope, but
Yeah, but it's like, you know, that it's there.
I might need to prepare for it. So I do currently have a non-aggression pact with the King of Italy, which, since he is the current controller of the current top level liege of the Duchy of Spoleto, does rather limit my ability to get it back in war. The other thing limiting my ability to get it back in war being, of course, that the King of Italy is rather more powerful than I am.
But if you're going after the duchy, you're just going after the relevant duke, unless the king is also the duke.
Don't I have to go to war with the top liege?
No. You won't have, well, not always. Because it depends on your own rank as well, if I recall correctly. And yes, you need DLC to be able to do anything interesting with your cardinals.
Right. Yes, I can't declare war on Duke Anscario of Spoleto because he is not independent.
Right.
I was hoping that
Yeah.
you would transfer that induction to do anything interesting with your cardinals.
I can't declare war on
Still goes
on King Hugh of Italy because I'm in a non-aggression pact with him.
This is your father-in-law or something.
Because I'm married to his daughter, which is the same thing. Not because he's married to my mother. So I don't currently have any convenient offspring I can marry off to do anything interesting with yet. My current heir is my newborn son, who is not heir to anywhere else. In particular, our inheritance laws are agnatic, cognatic, gavelkind, so I probably want a duchy soon, or otherwise the 2 counties I control will, as soon as I have a second son, will split between them. I can, I think, immediately create the duchy that is my de jure liege, the Duchy of Latium, because I control 2 of its 3 counties. I don't control the Prince Bishopric of Roma because that's the Pope's.
Yeah, I think the Pope would have something to say.
And presumably, even when I get a de jure claim on Roma, the Pope will not let me have it because he rather needs it. So technically Latium can be created, but it can't because I don't have 199 gold. So let's dismiss that for now. I should pick an ambition. Personal wealth up to 500. I can probably achieve that, maybe. Or do I want to become a paragon of virtue by getting a piety of 2,000?
Well, if you go for the gold, because you want the gold to create a duchy anyway, right?
Yes. Don't think I can become the king of the Papal States, or at least that's not really I kind of feel that what I want to try to do is to expand the Papal States while keeping them under the control of the Pope. I don't particularly well. I mean, I suppose having some daughters would be helpful, but no. Let's go for amassing wealth as my ambition. And my councillors are not currently doing anything. So, were I to try to get am I suffering from... I have a slight problem that the right mouse button on my laptop doesn't work very well, so I may occasionally get annoyed with why am I not able to select anywhere? Am I just being confused? I may have a certain amount of it's definitely changing something. Sorry, I'm suffering slightly from the UI is confusing me. Maybe I should unpause for a few days. Maybe I have weirdly broken things and I can't click on anything anymore. No, that's not true. I mean, I can navigate around things like that. That works. Should I not be able to click on things on the map and have them do things as well? Oh, meanwhile, more efficient taxation, more efficient construction, better economy tech. I think we need you collecting taxes. I might want to, though, work out where my taxes come from anyway, which... I don't currently get any tax from Nani. I do get taxes from those two mayors. That's not very helpful. Was there something that will tell me what my tax income from each place is? Well, I doubt it matters much. I'm still a bit confused by why things aren't happening when I click on things though. Anyway, let's just see if there's anyone else I want as my steward, but there probably isn't. No. You collect more taxes in the capital. Okay, I'm slightly confused by the fact that clicking on this location doesn't appear to actually be causing anything to happen. Just unpause time and see if that helps. Oh, he seems now to be doing it. Maybe it was something to do with being paused. And shouldn't pressing space pause and unpause?
It depends on the config.
Oh, right. Let's have a quick look through the settings. Controls don't seem to include keyboard layout. That doesn't seem to have anything relevant. That's probably where I could have got us back to a sensible view. I'm just slightly confused because I'm sure I should be able to click on things and have something useful happen. And something did happen. As though we have some terrible confusion about something. I've got 51 wealth now. Nice. But I still have some councillors who are doing nothing, so Partly because I want to work out what they should be doing. So what can you do? You can research military tech, or increase the size of the levies in a county, or suppress revolts. Let's set you researching military tech. Okay, so that click works correctly. You could be sowing dissent between the Duke of Spoleto and the King of Italy, couldn't you? Because, like, obviously, an excellent thing would be if the Duke of Spoleto declared independence from Italy. So let's set you doing that for now. Hang on, why is my steward not collecting taxes? Why has that actually set him to sowing dissent? Or has the clicking on things again not quite done what I was expecting? Now, I think there is something weird about clicking on the map, as though I've screwed something up horribly. Yeah, this is... I'm sure it was working. Like, clicking on things does something. The colours changed them when I did it.
You check all your modifiers.
Whee! Sorry, that was one of the wrong modifier keys. Oh, thank you, Simon. Don't know which one, but now I can click on things.
Aha!
Right. So now I'm going to explore some of my neighbours. So that's part of Italy. Italy is quite substantial at the moment. So I don't think I can do much about Italy. There are what appear to be a bunch of independent counts on Sardinia, if I would feel in need of a soft target. Over here there's Duke Landulf of Capria, but he is a tributary state of Italy, which probably means I don't want to go anywhere near him. And the Duke of Salerno is a tributary of the Byzantine Empire. So that says to me that if I were planning a military expansion, I would want to head towards Sardinia. But I think possibly trying to do something sneaky with Spoleto might work better. Right, that's working better, isn't it? So we could either improve relations with the Pope, or I suppose with someone else. Though that seems fairly... But the problem is that my chaplain seems to have some weird... So he can be sent to proselytise. I'm kind of faintly tempted to send my chaplain to proselytise in Rome, even though this will not help very much.
it's probably not real.
But like he can. Actually, let's have him researching cultural technology in the capital for now. And let's have our spy master in Spoleto working on improving things there. Right, we could do with a person to be a designated regent. Not very many good candidates. I think my wife's probably best. So the master of the horse probably doesn't get very much stuff to do. So I probably just want to assign these to random vassals for now.
Probably not random. Pissed off.
Well, yeah, none of them are very pissed off. I don't have many vassals. I think all of my vassals now have minor titles. I don't have enough prestige to hold a feast. I probably don't want to be plotting. There are no factions yet.
Also, feasts are expensive.
Yeah. Right, so I think things are kind of organised. Oh, the spacebar also unpauses because I don't have whatever weird modifier held down that I had before.
So that sounds like
So time is now slowly advancing. So we may want to make it go fairly quickly because we're not in any imminent danger of doing anything. Let's explore who our neighbours are then. So we have Porcello of Gallura. Dislikes me mostly because of our religious differences. Has far fewer troops than me. But like, I obviously don't have a casus belli to go stomping all over Sardinia yet. So I'm immediately observing who has what heirs, and can we get our own people in any of these places. All of them do appear to have living sons at the moment. So I don't think we can just like marry someone to the heir and hope for the best. So I can't currently remember most of how I in the past have expanded my realms by that sort of trickery. Obviously owning a duchy is likely to help. I mean, I suppose we can, for instance, say Okay, there are currently no claimants. To any of those. Whereas both I and my brother, unsurprisingly really, have a claim on the Duchy of Spoleto. Of course, were I to find a way to take Spoleto, then I probably wouldn't want to have the Duchy of Latium, because the Duchy of Latium, because having two duchies has the same problem as having two counties. So it would be slightly. So ideally, what would happen now is there would be a horrific mess as the Duchy of Spoleto becomes independent of Italy. Then I upgrade my defensive pact, my non-aggression pact with the King of Italy to an alliance, and then the two of us take on. Then I take on Spoleto with the help of the King of Italy. And like he would totally give me an alliance. Yes. So who's the heir to Spoleto then? Sadly, I think the line of succession to Spoleto is very much not coming our way. And there's quite a few people in it. Oh yes, I'm also Chancellor. Oh dear, I'm ill. Chancellor and Commander of the Papacy. I don't feel too well. Something is wrong with me. I'm burning up with fever. My nose is running, and my head feels as if someone is banging something hard against it.
Good news is it's probably not.
Just looking through the things I'm allowed to do and whether any of them are interesting. No, I can't form an alliance with myself, or with the Pope, sorry, because, well, I'm a vassal of the Pope. Ill. So what else is going on nearby? Oh, the Pope has created my duchy. The duchy that I'm entitled to and was saving up for. And he has now decided to... the Pope has decided to institute the limited crown authority law in the Papal States. So what does... What's currently going on with the laws of the papacy then? Can I ask that question? So, there's low centralisation, although I want the Papal States, don't I? So we're currently on minimum crown authority, so the Pope is considering increasing crown authority. This increases... This makes it possible to revoke titles under some circumstances. Makes vassals grumpier about their lieges. increases the minimum levy we get from all kinds of vassal.
That is fine.
So the question is, do I want... Thing is, my vassals currently like me quite a bit. So I'm not sure that increasing crown authority is particularly in my interests. So I think I'm not going to vote in favour of that. Plus, he just created my title. Presumably I'm now grumpy at the Pope for having created that title. How do I find my opinion of him? No, I apparently don't have a desire for the title Duchy of Latium, which the Pope has just created for his own purposes. My illness has passed. I can't actually demand that the Pope hand over the duchy, sadly.
Of course, one of the things here is presumably the Pope is angling to get a kingdom level title.
The Pope has a kingdom level title. He's Pope. That's a kingdom level title. Perhaps more importantly, he's also Prince Archbishop of the Papal States, which is a kingdom level title.
But what I was really meaning is getting enough duchies that he doesn't want to hold them anymore and wants to give them away.
Maybe. Because yes, he currently only has one duchy level title. He has the Prince Archbishop of Bishopric of Latium, and he has two kingdom level titles, namely the Papacy and the Papal States. The Papacy being the landless one, and the Papal States being his actual temporal thing. And it's the latter that's the liege of the Duchy of Latium, which is why he could create that. Sadly, the Lords of the Papacy have nonetheless approved the institution of the limited crown authority law, because I suspect the Pope gets to vote several times. So now, presumably, if I click on laws and Papal States, it now... Well, I mean, it says they have, but it looks like it's still set to autonomous vassals here. Current support for new law, limited crown authority 9 of 32. Am I confused?
That is Pope level 1, not your level 1? I can't.
I think it's royal laws of the Papal States. I don't think I, as a mere count, get to set my crown laws. The crown laws of the Papal States apply in the county of Orvieto. But this says current support only 9 out of 32. Oh, hang on, was I confused? The Lords of the Papacy have improved the institution of the limited crown authority of law. This is a completely pointless thing, because the Papacy doesn't have... Well, I don't think the Papacy has vassals.
So, purely symbolic, and they voted...
Indeed, this says that the crown laws of the Papal States apply in the Papacy. So, yeah... I don't quite... Yes, I think that's... Yes, an entirely unhelpful thing. So, yes, I don't think there is anything to worry about there. And then, yes, I can set my obligations for my vassals if I want to change them, but I probably don't at this stage. I haven't reigned for long enough to be able to change any of the succession laws. So I'll pause again and let some more things happen. So I was wandering around what my other neighbours are. In particular what my other top level neighbours are. So we have the King of Croatia over there. And obviously the Byzantine Empire. And I think I have things weirdly set up to show de jure borders. Let's turn that off. You have the Duke of Hum just across the water.
Oh, he's not going to be around for long, is he?
And Serbia. And there we have the relatively scary King of Germany. Sadly, I don't think I can. So yes, I mean, if I were planning to do anything military, I think it would have to be in the direction of Sardinia, unless we can manage to get something interesting happening.
Do you, before you make military ambitions towards Sardinia, make sure you have some ships? I failed to do last time I tried to start in Spain.
So I think that means I can raise 21 ships of my own and 5 from my vassals. And they're 100 troops each?
Yes.
Yes. So I think that means that I would not be limited by ships. And conveniently, Sardinia is big enough that I wouldn't have to land in the territory I was trying to take.
Which is always nice.
So, I mean, King Hugh is not a great fan of the current Duke of Spoleto anyway. King Hugh likes me much more, but I'm not sure that's quite enough for me to for him to go, oh yes, well I'll just give you the duchy and make it independent of me, that will be fine. Very sure King Hugh of Italy does now have a Wikipedia page. Queen Maria definitely does. She's a very interesting person. I think, insofar as I'm the power behind the papacy, she is the power behind me and most of the rest of the people in this area of Europe. The King of Italy is her third husband.
Right. Yeah. She knows what she's doing.
The previous one being my father, the Duke, who was Duke of Spoleto, and the one before that being the Duke of Tuscany. So yes, I'm allowing time to pass slowly while I ponder whether I have any next moves. I might speed things up a bit when I get bored. So my son... Oh no, my son is him, Gregory. who, yes, generally likes me. I've managed to sow distrust between Duke Anscario of Spoleto and his liege King Hugh. I hope this pleases you. Doesn't seem to have made much. Is that he's become furious, and so it's only working in one direction, and sadly not the thing is that Duke Anscario really likes the current king, and so making him furious with the current king has only knocked him down to plus 34, which is not really enough to cause any serious unhappiness between them. So I fear that duchy may have to wait. So now, what happens if I now ask about the Prince Archbishopric? Right, I can't. Yes, I can't usurp the Duchy of Latium because I don't have a strong claim on it. Yes, obviously I can't create duchies over there yet. So yes, I am looking at Sardinia, so I wonder if there's a sensible way. I can work out how to bring one of those in. So they won't. I can't just. I can't vassalize them for like 15 different reasons. And they're the wrong religion and the wrong culture, and yeah, we're not. That's not going to happen. They are militarily fairly weak, but I don't think that's very helpful. Because I would actually need a claim, so I can probably I can probably move my Chancellor, since I think his sowing distrust is not proving brilliantly helpful.
This one's still got to go 7.
Yeah, sowing dissent, sorry. Because it works in the wrong direction, really. I'd like the King of Italy to be grumpy about David rather than vice versa. But well, actually, no. I really want David to be grumpy, but he's so much in love with the King of Italy that it's not going to help. What? Yes. So maybe we can have more fun by finding the weakest. Realm in Sardinia. Thank you, Simon. And setting my Chancellor to explaining why I'm obviously entitled to a claim on the smallest duchy, the smallest county in Sardinia.
The smallest counties, it's surely a euphemism of some kind.
That's right, we're not building any new settlements for a while. That's expensive. Let's just speed time up a little bit while I wander around.
Every time you speed up time or slow it down in this game, I keep expecting the ship from Frontier to come to dock.
I don't usually like gossip, but I couldn't help agreeing with the gossiper, that proud courtier who sure needs to get a grip on reality. This proud courtier, presumably my spy master. So, one, I'll talk to the courtier about gossip by talking to Giuseppe, my spy master, about the sin of pride.
I can't see how that's going to end right.
I don't want to upset anyone, but that will give me a 25% chance of becoming slothful and will also make my spy master dislike me. Or I can say it's not nice to talk to people about me, talk about people behind their back, which solely increases my spy master's opinion of me. Well, I mean, that seems like the obvious approach.
You've very, very good because it was.
Yes. Well, he was apparently being too proud in some way.
Yes, it is very, that's the whole point.
I mean, I suppose that is a failing in a spy master. We're supposed to be, like, barely noticed.
Yes.
They're not doing their job properly.
Well, it depends what their job is, right? If their job is to stand there and be really sinister and go, I hope you weren't considering any plots, it's probably fine. But if you want them to do something else, and be subtle, then that's different.
Claire points out your spy master's job is talking about people behind their back.
Yes, indeed. So yes, we're now vaguely trying to get... Well, let's talk to the King of Italy. I think I should get an alliance with the King of Italy, since he seemed to be in favour of that. Because I found it, as other players, having alliances with more powerful neighbours tends to be helpful.
It's true. What is
And like, I'm not going to attack the King of Italy. The only way I'm getting Spoleto is by other means.
the only worry is that he goes into his wars and then you go, ow. So I made a mistake.
So what's going on? So what's the structure of this then? There's a Duchy of Sardinia, which currently doesn't exist, but de jure is basically Sardinia, right? So it would be necessary to hold 3 of the 5 counties if I wanted to create that. So currently no one can create it. So I can currently hold a feast, which is good for events and also prestige, but costs me gold. Oh, go on. It's a thing to do. I've given orders for a great feast to be hosted in Roma, presumably because I'm in Roma, even though that's not my capital. All the vassals will be there. Well, I've got like 6 of them. 4 of them. At least the bishops are now paying their taxes to me rather than to the Pope. That's nice.
I'm not sure if people agree, but
He'll agree if I ask him to. Pope does quite like me, to be fair. Oh, there's something interesting happening to my neighbours. I shall have a look at that. Everyone was talking about the musicians, and I finally had some time off from the preparations for my feast, so I could see with my own eyes and hear with my own ears what people were talking about. The musicians were good, and they were looking for a patron. So I can then, yes, either spend gold on them or spend prestige on them. Well, I think I'm not too badly off for gold at the moment. No feast is complete without boar meat. Who will get the prestigious task of hunting and slaying the boars needed for the feast? Should I send out my marshal, Mayor Oberto, who would gain 10 prestige, who would be flattered by this? I might gain one marshal. Yes, I think so. Or something bad might happen to the Mayor of Grosseto. I can hunt the boars myself, which is essentially the same, except I get prestige and I get wounded, and I'm the one who might get wounded. Or we can force the peasants to hunt, in which case nothing interesting happens. I think I'll send my marshal out.
Also, if the marshal's not very good, he might die, and then you get a chance to replace him.
It told me that if I went hunting boar,
So the best part about preparing a feast is deciding which foodstuff to serve. I must purchase venison, boar and duck, spices, wine and ale, honey for the desserts, cheeses, and perhaps even a swan or a peacock. Well, let's be gratuitously lavish. Meanwhile, Duke Landolf of Capua has accepted Pope Leo VII's offer to join the Rashid Holy War for Capua. Interesting. What's going on down there then?
There's someone before.
So the Duke of Capua is currently defending against Emir Abbey of the Rashid Emirate in the Rashid Holy War for Capua. So the attacker has about 3,000 troops. We should investigate this war if I can work out how. The Duke of Capua only has 677, though he has pulled in the Pope. Oh, right, I can ask about the war here, can't I, somehow? Oh, no, that just takes me to there. Maybe I can't. I mean, it feels to me like it might be helpful if we don't allow the infidels to get a foothold in mainland Italy. A random king level, a random the emir of Sicily, I think. So I think I should be able to go.
so you're deploying the Sicilian defence.
Okay, maybe I can't. Yeah, that's the other party. Okay, no, it's next. It's someone below there, isn't it? It's right. Yes, so that's the war. So can I not? Obviously, can't declare war on him. That would be silly. Do I not get an offer to join war option there? find one. If he's in a holy war, I should be able to say, here, I'll join your war.
Yeah, it's a good excuse for not joining Sonic War. I tried, but I couldn't find the sign up button. Your website's rubbish.
Though I am now slightly interested in under what circumstances I could ask for ask the Pope to sanction an invasion. Oh right, I can't. So with a lot of piety, I could sanction. I could get permission to invade somewhere big, like say Capua. But I don't have anything like the necessary amount of piety at the moment. So that's certainly an interesting possibility. And that's something, yes, but Capua's... Oh, but because if I have an alliance with King Hugh of Italy, presumably then if I attack... Were I to attack Capua... Italy couldn't come in on Capua's side, owing to having an alliance with me, I think. Which is kind of intriguing. So, yes, I still don't quite understand why... I can't work out how to... offer to join his war, though. Oh, is it? No, it's surely not a decision. Oh well. We don't want to go to war anyway, we're having a feast. Oh dear. My marshal has refused to come. I'm not sure, I think he may still have done that. Francesca di Verona has arrived at my court. Well, yes, it's the standard.
That's definitely the picture making Crusader Kings pictures.
It does have very few child pictures, in particular CK2. CK3 has gone hugely the other way and like generates everything from everyone's genetics. So like children look somewhat like their parents and grow up vaguely plausibly and what?
I said only vaguely.
Yes, but it's not like here where children only have one age visually. Every child is about 6.
Yes. And you stay looking about 7 until you hit
16.
And then suddenly you look like an adult.
So let's see who is this girl and why has she turned up in my court? So the Comità di Verona is not in my court. Okay. With Francesca, who is too young to be being educated. She doesn't apparently have a mother. Sorry, okay, Komita is his name, not his title. Those two are being tutored. I have no idea why this 2-year-old has turned up in my court.
Presumably her parents died when you were born.
No, her father's still alive and is heir to the House of Verona and is currently at court in Arezzo. Oh well, that's nice, dear. Alright. Her sisters have turned up too. I wonder what happened. Oh well, let's unpause. We're still trying to hold a feast after all. Though there are all these bloody papal troops wandering around, and indeed Italian troops. What's Italy up to? Who are you? You've joined that war. Everyone else seems to be able to join this war. The guests have finally arrived. All is ready. The cooks have worked day and night preparing the food, and the castle has never looked lovelier. Welcome to my feast. Yeah, I don't think that this war is going to go too badly. For indeed, he's lost. He's at a minus. The attacker's at minus 100% war score. I started talking to one of my guests at the feast and found them most interesting. Hours flew by, wine bottles were emptied, other guests excused themselves and went to bed, but we kept talking until the wee hours. I've never met a more fascinating person than Mayor Archibaldo. We have become great friends. Right, is he? So he is one of my vassals. He is the mayor of Amelia. The last of the guests has returned home, and everyone agreed it was this year's greatest feast. I had great fun, and so did everyone else. Gain 10 prestige. Your guests enjoyed the feast, increasing opinion by 5 for 2 years. So, yes, the mayor of Amelia is now hugely in favour of me because he has a plus 100 for being my friend. Mayor of Grosseto, even though he refused to come to the feast, is still quite happy because I flattered him by getting him to do some hunting for me. And yes, everyone else also likes me. Slightly wonder if it's worth increasing their obligations to me, since they like me so much. Yes, they are. Oh, well, I'm fairly sure that nearby war is going to end very shortly. Because, it's the wrong kind of war score, yes. Oh, no, what? It ended... I was confused, I was on the wrong side. No, that we now have a tiny outpost of the Rashid Emirate in Capua. Or rather, of some bloody great caliphate with only 5,000 troops, admittedly. So I could declare a holy war for Capua. Have I got that alliance yet? No.
But watch the back because lots of people will join in.
And he's already in a holy war. Set my marshal to training troops in the capital.
Marshal is stunned.
Yes. So is the okay, well if I ask, if I right click on the King of Italy, I do get a dissolve alliance option, which does rather suggest that we currently do have an alliance, even if I can't see it anywhere. Oh, it's under pacts, isn't it? It's not under diplomacy. Yes, so I have an alliance with the King of Italy. The King of Italy has 6,000 troops. The Shia Caliph only has 5,000, and I've got a pretty decent number, 2,000. I might even be able to increase that with a increase in my levies. How bad would a burgher vassal opinion of -10 be for me?
Ooh.
They're currently on 74 and 100. I think we can afford that. Let's adjust my city levies to large and see if anyone's willing to vote for that. Yep, okay, they seem to vote for that. So that should somewhat increase the number of troops at my disposal. Yeah, maybe just a bit. Shall we try to drive the infidels out of Italy?
Yeah. What's happened to John Hardy? What's happened to Sophia Stone Hardy?
Holy War for Capua. Yes, we'll call in the King of Italy. Right, now I have to remember how wars work. I probably at this level just want to hit the raise all levies button, don't I?
Yes, because you don't have a problem of trying to raise things in the right
Or
next
both
to
raise all levies buttons.
because there's nowhere weird to raise anything.
And then probably slam them all together into one big army.
Yeah.
Apparently I can't select David for some reason as a commander. So, I mean, given they're going to have to get everyone in by sea, I think I march into Capua now. There's an Italian fleet wandering around. Well, that might be helpful for visibility, if nothing else. Looks like the King of Italy is engaging in various kinds of other silly buggers, which is fine. Let him do the things that risk his troops.
When you go to war, your allies will have a massive amount of currency.
But things, food and supplies have been smuggled into Taena. Don't think I want to assault that. Stop it! No more smuggling of food and supplies. Well, there appears now to be an enormous Italian fleet heading somewhere. Oh, the food and supplies didn't do them any good. They have died of starvation, well, some of them anyway. Okay, I think the Italians are going ashore on the African territories of our target. Our siege is going entirely acceptably. And they're currently busy sitting down and besieging the capital. Well, that seems like a perfectly sensible thing to do, since I'm besieging the target. Oh, there are 43 galleys of possibly full of Fatimid troops coming ashore.
Often, don't forget, most of those aren't actually full.
Yes. Well, this siege will complete in... Oh no, there are actually 4,000 troops there.
You want to assault the thing to accelerate a bit?
So Italy is sitting down, besieging things over there. So how long? So let's see. The troops will be in Roma in about 14 days, 16 days, and will thus presumably take about the same amount of time. So they'll take about a month to get to me. That's, well, give or take 2 things. I think we can... Let us assault fairly briefly for a day or so. Let's give it one more day. Oh well, we were about to flatten it anyway. Unassault and finish that off at normal speed. So we definitely can't take that Fatimid army on our own. So I feel like the right thing to do is probably to get ourselves over to where Italy currently are. So let us raise an adequacy of ships. Alright, I can bring my ships ashore in Capua because I currently control it. I can't bring my ships ashore further down the coast. Presumably, in theory, I could bring them ashore in... I wonder if I can just lead these guys a merry dance, actually. Now, if they go that way, they're going to get into a fight. If they loop round there, they might not. No, I can't even go... Why can I not go from there straight into the coast of Rome. Do I have to? So what's the timing going to be like then? These guys are going to reach Golfo di Napoli on the 22nd. They might actually, we might be able to get everything organised in time. So you guys stay there, keep besieging. And let's hope that the ships can get there fast enough. So those will arrive on the 27th, which means that they will arrive there before the Fatimids arrive. So then that lot can be embarked and hence will not get killed. And can then head away to meet up with the Italians. Sadly means I'm almost certainly going to lose Capua again. That we can send our troops ashore down there. Meanwhile, I can be slightly disappointed that no one has offered to join my war. Apparently the Pope is now Baron of Tivoli. So yes, it looks like the Fatimids are now coming after my capital. Meanwhile, Benedictus di Spoleto, my nephew, is for some reason at my court. Because my brother is my chancellor. And so he is currently lacking a guardian. I mean, my wife is generally pretty good. So let's propose her as his guardian. Right, but I can't propose his marriage to anyone outside of my court, it looks like.
You need to be careful about which marriage dialogue you bring up. So one of them tends to give you many more options than the other. So that one tends to give you more options.
Oh yes, so it does.
For reasons that I don't fully understand.
Gregory, hang on, that's Gregory di Spoleto. That's one reason why that gave me more options, because he's my son. Benedictus di Spoleto, who I'm interested in. For whom I get the option, the comment, priests cannot marry, when I mouse over the standard arranged betrothal button. He's 6 years old.
Yeah, that's unusual.
He's not heir to anything. His father is not like a priest or anything.
His father shouldn't be a priest. I mean, because what year are you in?
939.
Okay, I mean, it's probably less of a problem then. You haven't had
Oh well, I think I can't get him betrothed. Now they'll be sieging my capital, the bastards. I mean, we've got their capital, so...
state for state, really.
And they can't capture me because I'm off in their capital.
You might be able to catch your heir. Which could be
Yes. I don't think I can send him away to be educated until he's 6, though, can I? I mean, I can assign him a guardian, apparently. Yes, I can't while I can send many of the children in my court to Italy to be educated, among them is not my own son because he's too young, I think. %16 war score. Now besieging a second wilaya. And then we will have the whole of their capital county. A famous writer proposes to compose my family chronicles. Do I spend some gold and get some prestige in order to potentially become proud? Or piss off all dynasty members and get a small chance of becoming humble? Oh, we're not too badly off for gold at the moment. So we are definitely hurting this place, but on the other hand they are battering at our gates as well. Our war score is dropping a little because they still control the target. They did briefly not, but now it's dropped precipitously because they've got our capital just as we've got their capital. But our capital is worth rather more because we're a smaller territory. So essentially my question is, can we get the Italians to come over to Italy and actually hit their army, because we can probably win if we do that.
So you declared this war. This is your war, yes?
Yes.
So if you go over there, then the Allies will probably most likely try and follow you.
Right. Will that work even though they have to go across the sea to get there?
So, yes, so long as they have ships, and they may be Captain Monkey while they're trying to do this. That's, certainly a big problem. But they will try and join up with, particularly if you are leading their troops, if, your troops rather. They will
Right,
try and
yes, which I am.
they intend very much to come and say hello to that.
What I will do then is cross over to Sicily and hope that they can organise themselves to join me there.
if you want to attack troops that are on mainland Italy, you probably want to go as near as you can to that.
Well, the problem is I need some time to recover from the crossing.
Yes, but you don't have to land that close to them.
Okay.
You can land a little way away. Probably the
Ah, I see some Italian ships coming at least.
yeah. I mean, often for these kind of wars where I'm a junior partner, the least worst thing to do, if they've got, sufficient, you've got sufficient superiority in numbers when you're with your allies, is to let the AI take over, and so basically join up with the people you're allied with and follow their army around, and then the AI will try its best to win the war. I mean, it's not quite as good as you are, but at least you can guarantee that you and your allies are in the same place until you tell them not to be, which is, as you may recall, is one of the major disadvantages of trying to get your allies to do any bloody thing at all. Because your allies go, actually, Belgium's really nice at this time of year. And you go, but I want you to invade Africa.
So I'm currently hiding just out of the enemy's visibility range.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they can see my ships. But so now I think the Italians are trying to accumulate a big enough fleet to pick up their entire army. Oh no, they've split their army in half, right. That's reasonable. I think they simply don't have a big enough fleet.
Yes, there is the problem at this stage.
They also haven't noticed that they control a port.
Yeah, the AI is not always good at this. Mind you, I mean, as a human, I'm not always good at this. Oh yeah.
My work in Gallura seems to have come to fruition. By bribing, cajoling, extorting, threatening and forging documents, I've managed to fabricate a claim on the Judicato of Gallura, presently held by Giudice Porcello of Gallura. Which will cost a bit, but I think is probably a worthwhile thing to own. Are you actually going anywhere with that fleet, Mr. King of Italy? Because, I can't do anything over here. Unless you turn up and help me. If you're just going to sit there in that gulf, we're not going to get anywhere. Oops. Oops. What? Where's that fleet gone? I'm fairly sure I can't just delete your fleet, but I can't see it. Oh, there it is. It's heading for the... What? Why are you heading for the Côte d'Azur? Okay, his troops are apparently wading ashore somewhere off the Côte d'Azur. I'm kind of assuming that means he's planning to come into Orvieto from the north. So I'm just considering whether I attempt to re-besiege Capua while I'm waiting, so as to stop the ticking war score from its being occupied, or its being unoccupied.
I mean, yeah, because there's still then like an entire.
I can dance around the Apennines as necessary.
Yeah, so I think yes, do besiege it back. Probably don't assault it at this point. Just sit there and wait.
While I wait for, well, the Italians to turn up.
Yeah.
Wherever the hell they are.
Currently scattered across North Italy. Like a bunch of states.
Are you in the middle of some other war, Mr. King of Italy?
It's possible they could just be lost.
He has a revolt he's dealing with. I think he's off busy splatting his revolt. Does seem to be sending more ships in though, so maybe something good will come of this. Oh, the Fatimid army is now marching out of my territory rather than besieging the rest of it. Excellent. I think the King of Italy is now shipping some more troops over to me. Good. Right. This might actually work. It may not be very good for the King of Italy, mind, but I think down here we'll have enough troops to do something useful. Is it reasonable to dismiss my fleets? I can't. Is there a cost to raising them each time, or is it only a
I don't know how much
time?
you have, but they are usually costly to have around.
Yeah. So only my domain fleets that actually cost me anything. The vassal fleets don't cost me, but might annoy my vassals.
The thing that will annoy your vassals is.
But I think that's a constant annoyance if they have anything raised, isn't it? So I might reasonably dismiss my
realm fleets, yes.
my domain fleets, and if I need more fleets, I think I've still got some unraised vassal fleets.
You've got maybe one, and that usually means that it's not really there.
Oh yes.
It's a rounding error.
Well, let's at least temporarily dismiss my domain fleets to save me some money. Yes, I think actually I've got domain fleets unraised mostly. Right, and we've now got some assistance here, albeit not very much. Oops.
Good nude stream. Anyone there? Stream.
Very boisterous dude.
My wife Alda is pregnant. which may or may not be helpful.
Well, she can have daughters, can't she? So
That would be fine, yes.
no sons are very odd.
Good. I think the King of Italy is faffing around getting more troops back. And we've almost managed to reach the point where we can get rid of that 10% penalty for defender controlling everything. Oh no, I think the King of Italy is shipping more troops up to deal with his other war. Oh, that's fine. Because I think the Fatimids are currently hunting his armies rather than mine. Right, that's reduced the deficit somewhat. So do I stay here, or do I head back up to my capital in order to take that back? There's less marching if I stay here. And yes, actually these two are the next three have tiny fort levels anyway. Theodora Bonifazi, who is my half-sister, has become an underhanded rogue.
She isn't married to anyone.
No. I feel that someone like the King of West Francia might not be a bad match. He's a good age. He's unmarried, apparently. I've lost her now. Quite good for our prestige to marry a Carling.
True, yeah. Definitely be friends with Carlins.
He doesn't quite like me enough to give me an alliance yet.
Yes. Also, I mean, that's they're more likely to, I think, give you the alliance the closer the relation is. So
Yeah, I mean, we get, yes, he gives me a plus 15 for marriage ties.
yeah.
He likes me because I've got so much prestige. Most of my prestige comes from having married my half sister. This one is going to take a little while to besiege. Yes, it looks like. All right, they're on the move again. Good. Does that mean that the King of Italy has won his war? His other war? No, he is still defending against the Arletian revolt. He's actually only an ally in that war. Not even an ally. The only person he has an alliance with is me. Vincentello has arrived at my court. Who is Vincentello? No one. Okay. Why are you in my court? What are you doing? Sorry, what? I find the option ask to leave court. You are not sure when Vincentello joined your court or what he's doing here.
Yes, I mean part of that's that for some of the more minor characters they don't bother to simulate it.
Yes.
Particularly near the sort of start, and later on, you'll get some sort of randomly appearing to turn up to fill gaps in various things.
Oh, we have a daughter named Maria.
Okay. Let's just check there isn't some called state underneath. No, good. Right.
Right, we've won the siege of Aquino.
Probably go back and take your capital.
We've still got one place to besiege there, I think, have we? Haven't we?
No.
Well, we don't appear to be besieging
You're not
anything.
besieging anything, so move back to your capital.
Oh, because the other place is actually owned by the Byzantine Empire. Right, to my capital.
Probably put your score back in the
Oh, there's an incoming army. Where are they planning to come ashore? I think they're not planning to come ashore in Orvieto, at least.
I think they're going to try and besiege back capital.
That's silly. They should be going after their own capital. Oh, they are. They're now heading into Roma, so I'm a little worried. Do I flee into the mountains of Spoleto in order to give myself a defensive advantage?
Probably. How much? I can't see the numbers on that. What's the numbers?
So they have 4,000 troops. I have 2,500,
Get into the mountains now.
and I haven't made much progress in getting Orvieto back.
Yeah. Go to the mountains. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, even though that's Allied territory, I don't apparently appear to reinforce while I'm there. Right, and they're now coming to join me in the mountains. Okay, well, I hope this works. Like, they outnumber us rather. The other half of the Italian army is nowhere to be
You
seen.
can't appoint any better commanders.
Pretty sure I only have 2 commanders there. I might be able to appoint some people as commanders, but I'd rather fear not. Like,
You're maximally commanded.
so my Marshal, Mayor Alberto, can lead armies. Oh, but I think he has to be a commander as well in order to lead armies, doesn't he?
No.
Because Alberto is not available there. Or do I have to take him off his current job?
You might have to take him off his current job.
Aha, yes. Right, let's at least get a commander on each flank. Right, well, it might work. I think the only question is, are the Italians going to come and help? I think they're still pissing around in the Alps dealing with their other war.
Allies for
He's He is going to win that war fairly soon, but I suspect I can't.
The thing is, you definitely have.
No. I can't get out of this county fast enough, so I think we just need to sit down,
Yes.
defend as best we can.
You don't want at this point to be moving around and lose your defensive advantage through
No.
being in the
We have 2 narrow flanks.
Good. Unfortunately, one of them has a commander, but
No, we've got commanders everywhere. They're missing 1 commander,
excellent.
but their other 2 commanders are very good by this stage of the game standards. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to work. No, it's definitely not going well.
Yes. Problem is that you probably can't retreat at this point. Ooh, good duels. If you're a better dueler, go for it. It's usually worthwhile.
Ow.
Oh well. Well, let's hope the Italians turn up.
Right, I need a new commander.
Is it? Fresh commander.
Let's point Cardinal Nolfo for now. Right, the King of Italy is no longer involved in any wars other than my one.
Right. Hooray. Hopefully Italy will come to your aid in a useful way. All 3 of them.
Well, it's that lot that I want to come down.
Oh,
And they are heading in the right direction, but slowly.
yes, you should probably retreat up Italy and into the mountains until you can.
Sometimes when I see my soldiers practicing their swordsmanship in the training grounds, the face of Mayor Gibril flashes before my mind's eye and I relive the duel we fought. It was like a week ago. It sends my heart racing how I failed to defend my honour. Some days the shame is overwhelming. So do I get fueled by rage in improving my health and my personal combat skill and become a rival of him? Or do I lose some prestige and I think I'm going to become his rival?
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think if I hang around here, right, my army reinforces.
Right. Yes.
So I think as long as the
Just as soon as they. Okay. Right. They've sodded off to the sea, so that's okay.
no, they've sodded off back to Capua to
Okay,
re-besiege
that's fine.
it.
I think you can.
So I think I want to wait for the Italians,
I
main
think
Italian
the
force to turn
Italians,
up.
Or you move into Orvieto.
Oh yes, I suppose I could move into Orvieto temporarily, couldn't I? Now that they're 2 counties away.
Yeah. Just be prepared to move back
They're coming back, right.
Run away.
Berta Bonifazi has become of legal age and is also unmarried, but I think... Okay, I can find her a match, albeit... Apparently no one very good. Another half-sister of mine. Well, let's send her over to the Germans as well. He's a bit old. But
Well, that just means you might get it back eventually.
right, so they are now the enemy are now moving into Roma. So I think that means I want to start heading north to meet the main Italian army. And then we all gang up on the enemy in the plains of Orvieto,
That'd be nice.
or thereabouts.
I might have to crack and go to bed though, because I am quite sleepy. Yep, I have to go to snooze. Yawn.
And now with all of us together,
You might.
yeah, I mean the Italian army is now heading off southwards again. Now that we've taken Orvieto back, so I should. Can I just say, look, just follow them for a bit, please. I think that might try to unattach them, so I'll do this by hand. Because the Italian army is attached to my one. The little Italian army is attached to my army. And I'm not sure I can thus attach my army to the big Italian army.
No. Oh well. Tell me how that works out tomorrow.
So I should have David and Nolfo and Alberto available. So why are David and Nolfo not able to lead armies? Ah, because David is also my... I need to invite some decent commanders to my court, don't I? We have a problem in that respect. Well, let's invite the marshals of Como and Bordeaux, who have pretty decent martial skill, and meanwhile have my Chancellor stop fabricating claims so that he can then be at least slightly useful as a commander of my army. Oops, no. So I hope our overwhelming numbers will be enough to win this. And we now have two rather better commanders once this battle's over. "You foul spider," the Bedouin soldier yells as he charges at me, his expression more that of wild animal than man. For a moment, time stands still as I'm watching the movement of the shiny sword coming straight from my body. I don't think so. I'll duel Commander Abdullah myself. Yes, well, obviously I will. Right. Not so good. A duel on the plains. I cannot believe what is happening, but with each swing of his maul, Wali Abdullah is getting closer and closer to winning the fight. Jumping back to avoid yet another frighteningly lucky blow, I find myself backed up against a large rock. So, being taken captive would lose me this war. I'm not sure if dying would lose me this war, but it's probably not going to be very good. Or I get my brother imprisoned, and he seriously hates me for it. But on the other hand, I get to I might possibly survive. Let's go for take David instead. Right, now that of course means I now need to appoint a replacement Chancellor. Pause. But we won the battle. There is not even a halfway competent Chancellor in my court at the moment. Let us attempt to poach the Chancellor of Urbino. And meanwhile, well, we have a convenient vacancy for a Chancellor, for a commander. Let's appoint that one. And let's also appoint our new other decent commander. We already have a marshal, don't we? Maybe I should actually I should appoint Garcia as marshal. Unless yeah, I should probably keep. I don't want to annoy the mayor. Let's not make him marshal. And Rogier should also be a commander. Right, so the war is going a bit better now. Holding David is not a big problem. So it looks like there's nothing left to besiege here, so I think we want to march back to Orvieto and besiege that back. So we now have our new Chancellor has arrived. Not quite sure what he should be doing at the moment. We've already got an adequate fabricated claim for when we want it. We could improve diplomatic relations with someone. Probably let's have him just improving diplomatic relations with my various vassals for now. We'll get a great big wad of war score by regaining things here. Like that gets us an extra 14 is 36, 40%, which would be enough to win us the war. It's kind of tempting us to assault these now, and we're going to win pretty quickly anyway. Simply to get us the war score before the enemy can do anything about it. Right, there we go. Capua is now part of the Papal States. I am, as a result of the that experience, scarred. I have some dual experience, which improves my personal combat skill. I'm fueled by rage as a result of having an enmity with some random mayor from overseas. I am currently somewhat unpopular because I betrayed my half-brother on the battlefield. I have a claim on the Judicato of Gallura, which might be useful in due course. I should probably see if I can ransom my half-brother back. So what's going on there? I am now Count of Capua as well as Vortabello and Orvieto. All of my troops are on my territory, so I can dismiss my fleets and my levies. So yes, we have some fairly serious penalties from having those levies raised for a long time, but that's fine. Like, it was a holy war, it was a good cause. Don't be like that about it. Yes, so where is... Unfortunately, my can't... Oh, it's Inigo he's got in prison, not David. Where's David? What's happened to David? Probably David. All right, he's come home. He is not very happy with me because I betrayed him in battle. But, like, it's not like he's very important anyway. Right, so I think that's a sensible place to... Yes, I'm expanding the Pope's domains. That's part of the point of this. So the Pope now has slightly more territory. That is the new de facto Papal states. That's the de jure Papal States, which are a completely different shape. I can't, unfortunately, create any duchies. My holdings are now like wrapped around Roma. I am certainly looking dubiously at the Duke of Capua, but sadly, I now have more territory than he does, so I can't get an invasion casus belli out of the Pope. So yes, I think that will be all, and we might come back to this on Sunday if Verity doesn't have better plans, or if I don't get Dwarf Fortress working. So save and quit, and good night. Oh, it says please wait now. That's not very helpful. I haven't got a good night slide. One moment, please. You're waiting for the good night slide to appear.